Welcome to Daddy Boss, the podcast for fathers committed to take control of their finances and create a better life for themselves and their families. I'm Santana, and each and every week I will share unconventional ways of thinking and advanced strategies to help you build cash flow and equity through real estate without using your own money, but also help you have better health and supportive relationships needed to succeed. Let's get started. Right, on this episode, we're going to be talking about why time freedom is far more important than money. And I explain to you why. When I used to work for corporations, I had a good paycheck. I had a lot of perks, company cars, and all these things, but I had no time. I couldn't do what I wanted to do with my time. And what has happened then was I used to work very long hours, not really see my kids, not really see my family. And weekend will come, I will be completely worn out because of the stress of work for somebody else, corporations and everything else, a high pressure environment. And I couldn't do anything else. And I didn't even have any health or mind space to look into something else. So literally, I'm not sure if you have been on that hamster wheel, but that's how I saw myself for many, many years, on a hamster wheel, running but getting nowhere. And that's literally how my experience was. You might resonate with this. But what I learned was there was something more important than just the money, because working for somebody else who controlled my time, my finances, my holidays, and who I could take my family to for dinner and everything else, there was something more important than that. But I didn't have it. And that thing was time freedom. And when I started to think about how can I get time freedom? Because I don't have time at the time. I was time poor. I was a good earner, had a good income to sustain my family and do a few things here and there, nothing too special, but a good life. But I didn't have time. I didn't have time to look after my health, to exercise. And the most important thing was I didn't even have time for mind space, to have like a quiet mind here, to just calm down, sit down somewhere and not think about anything else other than work and bills. And these and pressure and targets and reports, you might resonate with these if you're there. Like endless reports that never seem to end. To do reports about blood types. Not the case, but I'm just giving an example here. And what I found was that I had financial goals. And I achieved those financial goals while working for corporations, while working for somebody else, because my financial goals were so limited because they were dictated by the environment I was in. So the financial goals were dictated by how much I could earn, how much I was earning at the time, but how much I could earn. So my financial goals were limited. It's like the ceiling down here, because there was a limitation of how much I could earn in a way. And then I started to question myself, hold on, but how about if I create all the targets, all the goals, and some of them were about improving my health, improving my time with my family, improving the quality of my time with my family. You know, when Friday used to come, I used to feel like, thank God it's Friday, because I didn't really enjoy the work I was doing very much. I enjoyed some parts of it, but not all. I did enjoy some people I work with. I worked with amazing people, but some of them I did not like at all, but I had to deal with them. But I guess we do that on a daily basis anyway, whether you have your business or not. But I started to look at a bigger picture. And the bigger picture was, how can I spend more time with my family, my kids? How can I go to places when I want to go? How could I choose a holiday I want to have, how often I want to have a holiday, and even choose the 5-star hotels I want to stay at? How can I just go, I'm into multi-sports. How could I just go and buy a brand new racing bike? I started having other goals rather than just financial goals. But then I was faced with a limitation. And the limitation was the work. I was working for somebody else 60, 70 hours a week. Somebody was controlling my paycheck and I was trapped. And then what happened was I took too long to make a decision to leave. And guess what? I discovered that when we take too long to make a decision in life, life will make a decision for us. And that's exactly what happened with me. It took me too long to go. So life made a decision on my behalf to push me out of the environment. And guess what? Was not in a very nice way. Was through a big problem. And I'm glad I managed to overcome that problem. But going back to the purpose of this episode here today, what I wanted to share with you here is this. Time freedom is far more important than money. And the reason is this. When you have time, you can choose where you want to spend your time on, who you want to spend your time with, and you have time to have mind space, which nowadays I believe is the most valuable currency, especially with all these social media and notifications that we all have throughout the whole day. Mind space and time freedom means a lot more than cash in the bank. But I understand sometimes you need to have the cash to have time freedom for some people. But reality is this. You need the mind space first. Because I used to chase the money, believing once I have the money, I've got time freedom. Once I have the money, I've got good relationships. Once I have the money, I've got the choice. Once I have the money, I've got the health. I was relying on a third party, something outside of me, which is the money in the bank, to decide what to do. But then I learned, after being pushed by the universe, being pushed by life out of corporation, that mind space must come first. Okay? And one of the things you find in there is this. I am in property. I'm in real estate. That's what I do. And I invest in innovative ways of creating property businesses and generating cash flows without having to initially buy them. And that's what the Daddy Boss podcast is about, is helping you shift the way you think so you change your results, and also helping you with advanced and innovative ways of creating and scaling a property business so you can get more control. But what you're going to find is this. Time freedom will only come when you take full control of your destiny. And your destiny starts with your professional activities today. If you work for somebody else, somebody controls your paycheck, somebody controls your life. If you decide to go and create a business for yourself, in property, for example, at the beginning, it's not easy, but it's possible. And once you get to a certain level, you have the income coming through, whether it's passive or not, you can choose. And you have time freedom and you have mind space. But that's only going to come when you take full control of your finances. And the only way to take full control of your finances is through the creation of businesses. For as long as you work for somebody else, you don't control your finances because somebody can shut the tap on you overnight, like happened with me. Okay? So what I want to share with you today here, the key takeaway is this. If you want things to change, you will have to change. Just like with me. For me, at the beginning, it was painful because my way of thinking was so hardwired from my childhood. I had to figure out a way to change the way I think so my results will change. I was very grateful to have Bob Proctor to give me guidance. And I learned from him the creative process, how to do certain things in a certain way, and it has worked really well in any areas of my life. But only when you decide, when you make a committed decision to change, your life will change. And remember, time freedom is more important than money. But you're only going to have time freedom when you have some income coming. Now, to change that from not having time freedom to having time freedom will be based purely on shifting the way you think about your finances and your employment and your career. And if you go and create businesses, especially in property, you can create cash flow and wealth through equity gains without needing your own funds to start with. And you're going to get the time freedom that you would like to have. So financial independence is not just about money. We're looking for time freedom. We're looking for health freedom. You're looking for financial freedom. You're looking for good relationships freedom, not just money. Because what happens is once the money's there, you're going to realize that money is just a means to an end. It has no meaning until you use it. So the main thing to go for is not necessarily money to start with, but the most exciting things. Financial freedom, which is a link with time freedom, health freedom, relationship freedom. So I hope you enjoyed the episode today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and of course, subscribe for the podcast so you get notifications each time a new episode comes up. Thanks for listening. Thank you for tuning in to the Daddy Boss podcast. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for more tips and inspiration to help you achieve a lasting life change. See you next time.